Hey everybody, Grimcad here. We're going to be starting up a new game of Conquest of Elysium 4. A light-ish strategy game. It's fairly well out there now, so I'll go over some of the basics, but I won't go too much into detail, because chances are if you've been looking for this game, you've seen this game before. We are going to be doing something a teeny bit different from other ones that I've seen, in that we will be choosing a class which I have not seen very often. Now, this is not my favorite class at all, mind you, but it's not so bad as a lot of people make it out to be. We're going to be the Bergmeister. So we're going to read off the little flavor text and basically brief overview of the class or civilization. But you know what I think I'm going to do before that? I think I'm going to turn the sound down even further, because it sounds like it's a bit high. And look at that. Oh. Okay, sorry about that. Probably should have done before, didn't, but now I can't hear it at all. Two. Two. Come on, there we go. There we go. Alright. We're going to be playing on a medium map. We're just going to be doing random, because I'm not really worried about it. We're going to add 2 more players. We're going to keep the difficulty at Jester, because I want to finish this game. Some of the other games can go on a little long. The difference in difficulties is purely how much resources the AI opponent gets. They do not become smarter. Unfortunately, they just get bonuses to their resource collection and all that. But anyway, like I said, we're going to be the Burgmeister and the Hoburgs. And the Hoburgs are a race of honest and well-organized halfmen. They are famous for their skill in farming, their skill in manipulating iron, and of course the best beer in Elysium. The wealthiest of the Hoburgers is the Bergmeister, who is at the top of the hierarchy and leads the entire Hoburger society. Hoburgers live in a fortified settlement called Hoburgs, in which they usually spend all their time, as long as they are not farming or hunting. Other noteworthy Hoburgers are the horticulturist, who most importantly holds the secret of crafting perfect beer, and the horologist, who is capable of building wondrous beings powered by clockwork mechanisms. Though generally a peaceful and gentle people, the Hoburgers have a well-developed military. They know that fighting is necessary to defend their villages and to secure new resources for their constructs or get more land for farming. Crossbows play a very prominent role in the Hoburger army because they enable the Hoburgers to deliver serious damage even to much larger enemies despite their small size. Um, that is very true. We are going to be taking advantage of Hoburg crossbows quite a lot. As a Bergmeister, it is important to conquer mines. They yield iron, which is necessary to equip higher quality troops, and they also produce gems for the horologists. Very, very super important getting gems, and getting the right kind of gems, hopefully. But of course, it's all a bit random. They're able to convert regular farms to villages for added income and increased production of enchanted weed. So, they are small, they are weak, and they move slowly. They convert farms to villages, they collect enchanted weed, and collect magical gems. We're gonna change our color too. Maybe this nice dark blue. Nobody else will be blue. Ugh. I should have hit unique factions. Ah, well. So, Hoburgers. People don't like Hoburgers. Or the Hoburgs. Good reason. I didn't like them for a long time, but they have a tough start, but they can get pretty strong. So we're gonna zoom right in right now. We'll talk a tiny little bit about the UI. If we look over here, we can see that it's summer. We can see how much gold we have, how much we're getting a turn, how much iron we have, how much we're getting our turn, our trade, our enchanted weed, how much we have, how much we're getting a turn, and then some commands. First thing I'm going to do is we're going to start buying iron. We're buying about 12 iron a year for a cost of 12 gold. Now, the way trade works, I believe I read this. I could be telling you misinformation, and if I am, I'm sorry. But for every 1 point, you have a 33% chance of making the trade. But it does not stack, so if I had a 2 trade, I would have 2 separate 33% chances, not a 66% chance. We'll go ahead and we'll actually start buying it overpriced because iron is pretty important. Right here, we see our commanders that we have on the tile that's flashing. We have our Burgmeister. I'm not going to read this right now. The Hoburgs have the most backstory and history out of any of the cultures for some reason. One of the other new ones to Conquest of Elysium for the Markgraphs, which are also a type of Hoburg, also have a lot of history too. And I'm not sure why they have more than anything else, but they do. So there it is. What we're going to do is we are going to immediately go ahead and transfer. Did I want them or not? All of our people except for just a token force into our army. There are 2 ways to lose the game. You can lose all of your commanders, or you can lose all of your citadels. And citadels are anything that can produce units. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to do a teensy bit of exploring. This is our Hogmeister. We'll show you his stats. He's an interesting leader. We're going to show you some of the other guys' stats too, but in a moment. 6 hit points, 3 strength, which is low, 5 morale, which I think is average for the morale on a commander, but I'm not real sure. Magic resistance of 6, which is high. Armor 2, which is pretty good. Rank front, which is incredibly bad. Incredibly bad, and we'll see why once we get maybe 1 or 2 of them leading units. They have a large shield, so they reduce, or they have a chance to reduce the incoming damage by 0 to 3. Leadership 1, which increases their morale, and battle fast, which means in the tactical map, they move faster. They have 4 attacks, lance charge, which is done once and then cannot be done again for the battle. Does decent damage. This is the initiative. The higher the number, the better. The range is, well, how many tiles it is, and the damage is, well, the damage it does. The way the damage works in this game, and I'm not 100% on the details, if you roll the high side of the damage, for instance, if you roll 10, you have a chance to roll again, and that repeats. So you can do 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, stacking for, 50, 60, or theoretically infinite damage. It doesn't happen, but it can. But the nice thing about him is that he has 3 movement pips, as opposed to every other Hoburger, which only has 2. Now, every other race has 3. But, well, that's something we gotta work with. Alright, end turn. I'm going to be trying to keep these episodes to about 30 minutes or so, because I have been having a lot of trouble with recording. This is my, 4th time I've tried to record this, and for some reason it just doesn't want to take, so we're going to keep it to about 30 minutes. Occasionally, you get special offers for recruitment. This is a commander that we can get to recruit. It is not normally on the list of things for us to recruit. So let's look at our normal list. This is the cost. This is the cost in iron. These are the number of soldiers you get. And these tiny, tiny little things are the sprites. The nice thing about the Hoburgers is that they come in big, big numbers. 15 is a huge amount. 10 is even a big amount. Normally, other races get 5s. And that's about it. But, you know, we do kind of need... Let's look at our Hoburg militia. He has 2 hit points, 2 strength, 3 morale. That's all terrible. Magic resistance 6, which is high, but the thing about magic resistance is that coupled with our low hit points, it doesn't matter if we have a high magic resistance. We get hit by a spell, we're gonna get blasted for, 2 damages on the low end, so wizards will be our bane for our armies. They're of course slow, and they have a staff, which does 1 to 3 minus 1 damage. Now, we got the slingers, and pretty much the same except they have a ranged. We have the crossbows, which do 1 to 5 minus 1 attack every 2 rounds. And that might not sound great, but that 1 to 4 really stacks up when you get 15 of them. You'll see. Soldiers, which have an additional hit point, an additional armor, which, if you look to the bottom of the screen, incoming damage reduced by the armor value, or 0 to 1, before it's dealt to the unit. It also has a large spear, and a spear which has a high initiative. Let's see, the defenders, which have short swords, which deal a little bit more damage, but don't have the higher initiative. Pikeneers, which have a low initiative, but they have a range of 2, and they can attack over a rank of your units, so they are rank front minus, so they'll do their best to be on the front ranks, but behind the front ranks as well. The guards, which have an armor of 2, and another hit point at 4, and Hog Knights, which have 2 armor, more hit points, more strength, and then several attacks, and are battle fast again with a large shield. So they're not too bad. We are going to not hire anybody. We are going to continue exploring with Alfred. And see what we can see. I'd like... Great, I'd hoped that would kind of be right there. What I really am looking for... Oh dear, we got an ambush. So we'll look at the battle right now. It is a brigand. He will probably kill us with our bow before we get close. Maybe not. Hey, we did 8 damage. CNC. No, it does 1 to 10. Battles I have no control over, other than our unit composition in our army, and a teensy tiny little bit dealing with spells, which we'll get into in a bit later, once we get some spells. So we're going to go ahead and take over this hamlet right here. And we're just going to... I don't really want to go to the desert. We're at the southern end of the map. Deserts are always on the south, tundra is always at the north. So we are at the southwestern corner of the map. Yeah. The Hoburgs have a rough start because of these initial casualties that happen to us. As this front line dwindles and dwindles and dwindles, and it dwindles rapidly, eventually things will start doing damage to our crossbows, and that's really, really bad for us Hoburgs. I'm gonna go ahead and attack this giant spider right here. I really don't want to go into that desert, so I don't think I'm actually going to. We can speed up the battles, but for now we'll keep watching them out. See? All of these little independent things hate us and want to kill us. A deer just took over my coastal hamlet. And speaking of these little tiles right here, if you look at the bottom of a tile, it tells you what it is and some of the things about it. For instance, this coastal hamlet produces 2 gold a turn. This forest cost 2 movement pips a turn. This Hoburg village gives me 3 gold and 2 enchanted wheat a turn. Okay, now it is winter and everything is covered in snow. Snow increases the movement actions you need for each tile by 1. So we're kind of crippled in the snow. We don't move stealthy at all. Well, okay. This is gonna be the end of our Hog Knight. 4 wolves are gonna kill him. Yep. 1 hit. Wolves don't even do that much damage. He just got lucky. Well, that's a shame. We are going to have to get another one of them pretty much ASAP. Okay, a horologist has come to aid our cause. The horologists are a type of caster, but not really a caster. They are machinists. They build constructs using gems, which we didn't actually start with any, so that's a bit annoying. Hoburgs always get a horologist and a horticulturist for free very early in the game. Gosh. I don't think I can take that yet, so I'm not going to try. But I really want it. I'm going to recruit some crossbows. Surprise, surprise. We are going to move our Burgmeister. Oh, we can't. When you go onto something that takes more action points than you have, it uses up those action points for the next turn until you've used up how many action points it was. For example, forest is normally 2, and moving on to snow takes an additional 1, so I used 3 action points. So next turn I think I'll have 1 action point. So it's pretty rough, but it's the way it is. At this point, I'm going to turn off buying at overprice, so I can get a teensy bit more gold. Yeah, we cannot take advantage of that Hogmeister. We are going to do a ritual and create a Hoburg village. And bam, now it's a village. Now we get 2 more gold and 2 enchanted weed from it. So that's a great thing. The Bergmeister and our horticulturist have that ability. And this is kind of a, really rough start for us. Because we are just getting smashed by these independents, and I don't quite have enough units to do anything about it. You have to have a commander to move any of your units around. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. I can't move. Well, I shouldn't move. Yeah, we're not gonna move. We're gonna play it safe. Oh my goodness. So rough. But we're gonna go into the forest and take out some of these independents. It's a giant spider, it's not gonna matter much. Our crossbows are just going to not quite do as much as I thought. Oh, come on. Hey, he got poisoned but did not die from poison, which is great. Can we move him? We sure can. We can move him in and then back. And sneakily take that back. Because you don't actually have to fight for it. Predictably, the deer are dying to our crossbows. I'd like to say predictably. It doesn't always work like that, though. We'll take a shortcut that'll wind up taking more time by going into the forest. Autumn's here already. Bam, and now we've stabilized a tiny little bit. We are going to recruit some... Oh, those are terrible. Terrible. We're just gonna get some soldiers. And now... not quite yet. Once I get another unit of crossbowmen, then I'll go ahead and send out that first unit. Ugh. That's always the thing. You really need those big armies with the Hoburgs, but in the beginning it takes so much just to amass them. I am going to get this Hogmeister, because he's going to be doing some much needed scouting for us. And I think I'm... shit. Going to die to some fire ants? Or some wolves. Those are probably the same wolves that killed the predecessor. We're not going to... I was going to say we really didn't want to go into... Oh, I did not mean to move right there, but it might be the safest place for me. Not going to go into those hills if we can avoid it. Because it's the winter and we'll just slow down. Okay, now we got a horticulturist. And a horticulturist, which is a Baduila, can... Oh, nope, that's the other one. A Ratchus. He can summon animals. For 10 weed, he can cast a ritual, which gives us some of the animals we've seen. So we're going to be doing that for a while, and then we're going to be sending him out pretty soon. I generally like to try to clear out independence. We got a moose, that's not bad. More wolves, okay. Next time he can head on out. Oh yes, your enchanted weed in the spring, maybe it's either the spring or summer, you get double, and in the winter you get half. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna take some time to clear out some of these guys so they just don't retake every single thing. When something is guarding, the independent unit will not move off of it. Shipstones, what does that activate specially? Autumns will now be longer. Fine. Works for me. It might be the time for getting my enchanted weed, I'm not sure. Hooray, we killed 3 snakes with our army. They do get powerful. It takes a long time for the Hoburgs to get powerful. So, we might not make it, but it does happen. There's a High Lord. He's pretty mean. But it's just him by himself, so... Even though it looks like nothing's on that farm, I don't really want to go claim it. Because I'm betting something's on that farm that we can't see. The horticulturist is probably the most important unit early game, and the horologist is probably the most unit to us late game. We're doing it. Oh, alright, we got it. Now, unfortunately... our dude man there cannot turn it into... Who's that guy? Defender? Yeah, he can stay there. Whatever. Cannot turn it into a Hoburg village, like I mentioned before. Only the horticulturist and the Burgmeister can do that. Man, this guy is tough. These little Hoburgs are not dying, which is... well, I hate to say it, but it's rare. It's very rare. And these beasts, we don't particularly worry about. The big beasts, this moose has trample. Look, he has 30 hit points. He does damage. Animals have very poor magic resistance, however. And he tramples too. So he moves on to something, displaces it, deals 2 damage to it. But I think he's gonna die. No, and he's actually got spells. He's got the Poison Arrow and the Vine Arrow spell. So he's a real caster. Technically, although, to be honest, they all have terrible, terrible casting skills, the Hoburgers. Oh my god, what is that? That is, awful. Okay, the Warlock has been eliminated, slain by the Pale One. Okay, so now we only have 3 more opponents left. We might lose. There is a good chance I am going to run him back home. I do not know exactly why this thing spawned right here. However, I believe one of our opponents must be the High Cultist. So now that we moved everybody, we're going to call this an episode. Thank you for joining me for episode 1 of Conquest of Elysium 4 as the Hoburgs. Please like, subscribe, and comment. All those things help me out a bunch, and I appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and peace out.